everyone! So throughout your life, you've probably spoken quite a few words and used those words to express thoughts, ideas, or opinions when communicating with others. And those words can be broken down into different parts of speech depending on where you use them in the sentence. In this series, I'm going to be going over varying parts of speech, what they are, why they're important, and how we use them in modern English today. Today's topic of the day is going to be nouns. Now, nouns are probably the easiest part of speech to identify for English speakers and even beginning English language learners. We've had it instilled in us from a very early age that a noun is simply a person, place, or thing. Later on, you have ideas incorporated into that, and the reason that we don't teach that in primary school when nouns are first introduced is because ideas have something to do with abstract thinking, and that's not something that children can normally do until they're at the ages of between 10 and 19. But we'll get into that later. Go ahead and pause your screen for me and answer this quick question. Now, for students in my class, yes, you will need to write this down. Yes, I will be checking this when you come into my classroom, and yes, we will probably do this for every video that I do. And that's just so I can get a quick review, how are you doing? Do we need to review? Can we continue with the lesson? Can we continue to learn? Okay, so just hit play whenever you're ready and after you've fully finished answering this question. Another question that we need to address is, why do I need to know this? Why do I need to know that my sister or a manatee or Europe are all nouns? What's the point? Well, it's actually really important, and I'm going to tell you why. The point of language, or any kind of language, having to do with spoken language, body language, sign language, writing, texting, using social media, they all have to do with one thing, and that one thing is communication. You need to understand your own language in order to break down other languages. It's really hard to learn another language if you do not understand the components of your own. Parts of speech are figuratively building blocks of our own language. And if you take away that important building block, bad things are going to happen. You need to understand them in your own language if you ever hope to learn some other language. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't learn, say, Italian if you didn't know what nouns were, but I am stating that it would be a lot more difficult. I know from experience. College Spanish, there were some hard times, and I'll save those stories for another day. What I am saying is that if we took nouns away or took nouns out of a piece of writing, you would not be left with a lot to work with. There would be not a lot of understanding or communication taking place, and that's the main goal. Nouns give us the detail that we need. They give us the who, the what, and the where. Sometimes they can even give us the why. And I dare you to try to do this. Write a story without using nouns. I've tried, and it was impossible. I need to have that detail. I need to have that description. You don't have sustenance to a piece of writing without the use of nouns because they're one of the major building blocks of our English language. Go ahead and pause your screen real quick and answer this quick question for me having to do with nouns, making sure to identify 4 different types of nouns and making sure that at least one of each is a person, place, thing, or idea. Now, a lot of people tend to get confused on the ideas portion of nouns, but if you wrote something along the lines of love, gratitude, or justice, then you're on the right track. Most nouns you come into contact with are going to can be sorted into 2 separate categories. One being concrete nouns and another being abstract nouns. And I'm going to go into those a little bit in this video. Now, most nouns that you come into contact with are most likely concrete nouns. And concrete nouns are the nouns that you can experience through your senses. So I can taste the apple. I can smell gunpowder from a firecracker. I can hear the ocean. I can touch a manatee. I can see a horde of butterflies flying towards me. So if you can experience through one of your senses, then most likely it's a concrete noun. But sometimes that's hard for some people to understand. The first way I learned how to understand a concrete noun is that I literally imagined a literal concrete slab, And if I can place something on that concrete slab, then I know it would be a concrete noun. And you do what you have to do to remember these things, and I'm just saying that that's what's worked for me with remembering what concrete nouns are. Now, on the other hand, abstract nouns cannot be experienced through your five senses. This is where the ideas or abstract thinking comes into place. So these are the emotions, these are virtues, these are morals and values. So for as an example, I would say, you cannot put happiness on a concrete slab, but you can see someone who is happy and you can feel happiness, but you cannot literally see happiness. You cannot buy happiness, but you can observe someone who is happy or identify that they are behaving like they are happy, or they could even say, hey, I am happy. All right, so this is your last question. You're going to pause your screen and you're going to answer a quick question identifying at least one concrete noun and one abstract noun. Now, nouns do get a bit more complex than that, but I'm gonna save that for another video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a great time making this. I'm going to be learning more about video editing to hopefully make this better for you guys, and hopefully more exciting and entertaining and hopefully educational. I can't wait to see you guys again. Don't forget to bring in your homework. I will be checking that when you guys come in, and don't be afraid to learn. Bye guys.